And with me now is Craig Hampson. We're standing right next to Oriole Serva's #2 Telemundo car. And Craig's going to talk a little bit just about some of the changes, adjustments you make during the race. What are you doing out there?
All right, well, a lot of the big speedway ovals is about the level of downforce you run, because with extra downforce you get more grip, but you also get drag, and drag slows the car down. So for qualifying in particular, you want as little drag as possible, but for the race, for running in dirty air, in a big pack, you need some extra grip, and sometimes you have to run more than the minimum level of downforce. Some of the ways to adjust the downforce are on the back of the underwing down here. This is the underwing tunnel. Sometimes we will run wickers on the upper edge of this tunnel. There's also something called a gearbox filler panel down on the very bottom of the gearbox. The larger blockage that you run there, the more downforce you'll make, but also more drag. So during practice, we're changing those things, trying to figure out, okay, what levels do we need to run? You saw there was nothing there, and that's because we're getting ready for qualifying. It all comes off for qualifying. We're as low drag as possible for that. And we'll add some back on for the race. You'll also notice that some cars will run what we call tire ramps and side pod extensions. They're right in front of the rear wheel. We don't have those on right now. Again, we're going for the lowest drag possible. I think for the race this weekend in Vegas, some people will run with them, some will run without them, and it's a trade-off. Are you trying to make your car better in traffic, or are you trying to make it so it can lead the pack and be the fastest possible?
One more question pertaining to Las Vegas. Obviously, we're at altitude here. How does the altitude affect what you're doing?
Well, I know I can speak for my car that the altitude is not cooling the engine water very well. We're struggling to keep the engine coolant at a low enough temperature, and that's because there's less air going through the radiators, a lower density of air, and it's not taking away as much of the heat. In addition, the altitude affects the engine power because we are normally aspirated, we're not turbocharged, so higher altitude you make less engine power. It also affects the downforce and drag. So because the air is less dense, we have less downforce, but in addition you also have less drag.
Outstanding, Craig. Thank you for giving us the lowdown. We'll let you get back to work.
All right, thanks. Enjoy the weekend.